Welcome back to G Fun Facts Online. Today we are diving deep into a fundamental shift in the world of technology. The era of passive artificial intelligence is ending. We are standing on the precipice of a new digital epoch, one where machines no longer just speak, but act. For the past decade, the world has been mesmerized by the ability of AI to generate text, images, and code. We have marveled at chatbots that can write sonnets and answer complex queries. But these systems, for all their brilliance, have remained fundamentally reactive. They wait for a prompt, generate a response, and then wait again. They are disembodied brains in a jar, capable of thought but incapable of doing. That is about to change. Enter Agentic AI. This is the fourth wave of artificial intelligence, a paradigm shift that transforms AI from a tool into a teammate. Unlike their generative predecessors, Agentic AI systems are not satisfied with merely describing the world. Their purpose is to change it. They possess agency, which is the capacity to perceive their environment, reason about how to achieve a goal, form a plan, execute actions, and adapt based on the results. They are not just chatbots. They are autonomous decision makers, capable of booking flights, writing and deploying software, managing supply chains, and negotiating contracts, all with minimal human oversight. In this episode, we are going to explore the rise of Agentic AI, dissecting its architecture, its revolutionary potential across industries, the profound economic shifts it heralds, and the critical ethical challenges we must navigate as we hand over the reins of execution to autonomous digital entities. To understand where we are going, we must first understand where we have been. The journey to Agentic AI is the culmination of 70 years of striving to create machines that can truly think and do. Let us look at the evolution of agency. Level 1 was the rule-based era, spanning from the 1960s to the 2010s. In the beginning, there were rules. Systems like Eliza in 1966 and the customer service chatbots of the early 2000s were rigid decision trees. If a user said X, the bot was programmed to say Y. There was no understanding, no reasoning, and certainly no autonomy. These systems were useful for filtering basic requests, but crumbled under the slightest ambiguity. They were agents in name only, strictly bound by the code explicitly written by their creators. Then came Level 2, the conversational era, from the 2010s to 2022. With the advent of Siri, Alexa, and early deep learning, I gained the ability to recognize patterns. These assistants could parse spoken language and trigger predefined scripts like setting a timer or playing a song. However, they lacked true cognitive flexibility. They could not plan. If you asked Siri to plan a romantic date night considering your wife's dietary restrictions and book the table, it would simply offer you a list of web search results. The cognitive load of execution still rested entirely on the human. Level 3 was the generative era, covering 2022 to 2023. The release of ChatGPT and GPT-4 marked the explosion of generative AI. Suddenly, machines could reason, summarize, and create. They passed the Turing test for all practical purposes. Yet, they remained trapped in a text-in, text-out loop. A generative model could write a perfect email for you, but it couldn't send it. It could write code to solve a problem, but it couldn't run the code to test if it worked. They were brilliant consultants with no hands. Now we have arrived at Level 4, the Agentic era, from 2024 to the present. By coupling the reasoning power of large language models with access to external tools like web browsers, APIs, and code interpreters, and combining that with memory systems, we have created Agentic AI. These systems can break a high-level goal, such as increasing website traffic, into subtasks like analyzing competitors, drafting blog posts, and updating SEO tags. They execute these tasks, check the results, and iterate. They are not just simulating intelligence, they are exercising agency. So, what makes an AI agentic? It is not magic, it is architecture. An autonomous agent is constructed from 4 critical components that function analogously to a human being. First is the brain, or the reasoning engine. At the core of every agent is a large language model, or a large action model. Unlike a standard LLM used for chatting, the brain of an agent is fine-tuned for reasoning and planning. This involves decomposition, the ability to break a complex, abstract goal like planning a vacation to Japan into manageable sequential steps such as checking flights, finding hotels in Tokyo, and comparing rail pass prices. It also involves reflection, the ability to critique its own work. If an agent writes code that fails to run, the brain analyzes the error message, hypothesizes a fix, and tries again. This self-correction loop is the heartbeat of autonomy. The second component is the hands, which refers to tool use and actuation. A brain needs hands to manipulate the world. In the digital realm, hands are APIs. Agents use browsing tools to navigate the live internet to research current events. ensuring they aren't limited by stale training data. They use software connectors to interface with enterprise software like Salesforce, Jira, or SAP to update records, send invoices, or move data. Perhaps the most powerful tool is the code interpreter, which allows an agent to write and execute Python code in a sandboxed environment to perform complex math, data analysis, and even generate charts on the fly. The third component is the eyes, covering perception and multimodality. To make decisions, an agent must perceive its environment. Modern agents are multimodal, meaning they can see and hear. Visual inputs allow an agent to analyze a screenshot of a user interface to understand where to click, or inspect an image of a manufacturing line to identify defects. Auditory inputs allow agents in customer service to process tone and sentiment in real-time voice feeds to adjust their negotiation strategy. The fourth component is the memory, providing context and continuity. A distinct feature of Agentic AI is persistence. Standard chatbots are amnesiacs. They forget you the moment the window closes. Agents utilize advanced memory structures. Short-term memory keeps track of the immediate chain of thought and current steps in a plan. Long-term memory, often using vector databases, stores vast amounts of information including past user preferences, corporate knowledge bases, or successful strategies from previous tasks. This allows the agent to learn and improve over time, becoming more efficient the longer it works for you. The leap to Agentic AI is powered by several breakthrough technologies that go beyond standard deep learning. One is large action models, or LAMs. While LLMs are trained to predict the next word, LAMs are trained to predict the next action. Companies and research labs are building models specifically trained on user interfaces. They watch thousands of hours of humans interacting with websites, clicking buttons, filling forms, and scrolling, so that the AI learns the grammar of software interaction. This allows a LAM to navigate any website, even one it has never seen before, to complete a task. Another key technology is cognitive architectures, like React and Chain of Thought. Developers use prompting frameworks to structure the AI's reasoning. React, standing for Reason plus Act, is a loop where the model is prompted to produce a thought, take an action, and observe the result. This cycle repeats until the goal is met. Then there is Tree of Thoughts, where for complex problems, the agent explores multiple possible branches of reasoning simultaneously, evaluating which path is most likely to succeed before committing to an action, similar to how a chess player anticipates moves. The future of Agentic AI is not just a single superagent, but multi-agent orchestration, or a swarm. In this architecture, specialized agents collaborate. For example, a software development swarm might consist of a product manager agent creating specs, a coder agent writing code, and a QA agent writing tests. The QA agent can reject the coder agent's work, forcing a rewrite, all without human intervention. This mimics a real-world corporate structure, leveraging specialization to reduce errors. We are rapidly moving from theoretical papers to real-world deployment. Here is how Agentic AI is reshaping major industries. In software engineering, we are seeing the rise of the AI developer. Agents like Devin and open-source alternatives act as autonomous software engineers. They can be assigned a GitHub issue, browse the codebase, reproduce the error, write a patch, run tests to verify the fix, and submit a pull request. This shifts human developers from writers of code to architects and reviewers, exponentially increasing productivity. In finance, we have the autonomous analyst. Agentic AI performs autonomous market research and risk analysis. For due diligence, an agent can investigate a company by scouring thousands of news articles, regulatory filings, and social media sentiment, cross-referencing them with historical stock performance to generate a comprehensive investment memo in minutes. In fraud detection, agents monitor transaction streams in real time. Unlike static rules, they can adapt. If they notice a new pattern of fraud emerging, they can autonomously update their own detection parameters to block it. In healthcare, the empathetic coordinator is emerging to handle the immense administrative burden. Voice-enabled agents can interview patients, ask follow-up questions based on symptoms, and route them to the correct specialist. Research agents can analyze a patient's genetic profile against millions of medical journals to suggest personalized treatment plans for rare diseases, acting as a tireless research assistant for oncologists. In the general enterprise, agents are becoming the universal employee, acting as the glue between disparate software systems. A logistics agent can detect weather risks, identify alternative suppliers, calculate cost differences, and initiate rerouting orders. An HR agent can autonomously provision accounts for a new hire, schedule training, answer benefits questions, and verify tax documents. The emergence of Agentic AI is not just a technological upgrade. It is an economic revolution that fundamentally changes the value proposition of software. We are moving from SaaS, software as a service, to service as a software. In the old model, you paid a monthly fee for a tool, but you still had to do the work. In the new model, you pay for the outcome. Instead of paying for email marketing software and writing the emails yourself, you might pay for a marketing agent that writes, segments, sends, and optimizes the campaign. You pay for the results, such as leads generated. This shift will disrupt B2B pricing, moving from per-seat pricing to per-outcome pricing. We will also see the rise of the agent workforce. Just as you might hire a freelancer today, in the future, you might hire a specialized legal research agent for 1 hour to review a contract. These agents will be trainable, rentable, and scalable, offering unprecedented operational agility. However, despite the optimism, the road to an agentic future is paved with significant hurdles. The autonomy that makes these systems powerful also makes them dangerous. First, there is the risk of the infinite loop and hallucination. Agents can get stuck. If an agent fails to achieve a subtask, a poorly designed agent might retry endlessly, burning through computing credits and crashing systems. Furthermore, hallucination, where an AI invents facts, is catastrophic when the AI can act. A chatbot hallucinating a law is bad. An agent hallucinating a regulation and automatically deleting non-compliant company files is a disaster. Second is security and prompt injection. If an agent reads your emails to help you work, a malicious attacker could send an email containing hidden text that instructs the agent to forward all sensitive passwords to an attacker. Securing the perception layer of agents is a massive cybersecurity challenge. Third is the accountability gap. Who is responsible when an agent fails? If an autonomous trading agent makes a mistake that bankrupts a firm, or a medical agent misses a diagnosis, is the developer, the company, or the operator liable? Our legal frameworks are ill-equipped to handle digital employees. Finally, there is economic displacement. While AI replaces tasks, not jobs, agentic AI replaces entire workflows. This threatens knowledge workers, middle managers, and junior developers whose primary value is coordination and execution. Society must grapple with the rapid reskilling required for a workforce where doing the work is less valuable than directing the agent. Looking ahead to the years 2025 to 2030, agentic AI will mature from experimental pilots to the backbone of the global economy. 2025 will be the year of the pilot, with massive internal experiments and likely the first headlines about agent failures, leading to a focus on governance. By 2026 and 2027, we will see multi-agent systems where swarms replace single agents and the emergence of the chief AI officer role. By 2030, we will see the hybrid workforce. The concept of a purely human team will become obsolete. Every high-performing human employee will be an agent manager, overseeing a fleet of specialized digital entities. In conclusion, agentic AI is not just a better chatbot, it is a fundamental restructuring of our relationship with technology. For the first time in history, we are building tools that can use us, asking for clarification, suggesting strategies, and executing work while we sleep. The transition from chatbots to autonomous decision makers represents the maturing of artificial intelligence. It offers the promise of a world where humanity is freed from the drudgery of administrative execution, allowed to focus on high-level strategy, creativity, and connection. But to realize this promise, we must build these systems with eyes wide open, prioritizing safety, ethics, and control. The agents are coming. The question is no longer what they can do, but what we will ask them to achieve. Thanks for listening to Fun Facts Online.